Hey gang, this is Vicky Kelly with Golden Rule Trades. Wanted to show you what we did in the morning method today. Kind of going to show you a few of the exceptions instead of the rules today because we had quite a few of them. So first of all, at the beginning, we start looking for trades at 9:30. And as you can see, this came down and did flip our Parsar dot. However, it didn't give us any other confirmations and didn't give us a buy signal or anything like that. So, or a sell signal. So we didn't take anything to the short side. And as the market likes to do, sometimes at the beginning of the morning, it likes to run up only to turn around and go the other direction. And today was a great example of that. But there's a couple reasons that that can happen, and let me show you one of them. This happened pre-market, okay? We came to a new low, and you see that dragonfly doji there. And this was a very obvious energy pattern. A couple things show us that again, the new low, but also look, we hit the dragonfly doji here, we hit the doji here. And so it was following a basic pattern pre-market that it set up for and had not completed by the time that the market opened at 9:30. And it really does like to complete that pattern first thing in the morning. And so that's exactly what it did was it finished out this pattern here all the way up to our target line and then turn around and reversed. So I like to leave, especially when it's a very obvious pattern, I like to leave that up while I'm trading just to give me an idea that it might turn around sooner than I think that it will. And then after that, it turned around and gave us a sell signal. Now, there are a couple places that you could put this, the energy lines for this. And this is the first place and more conservative place. And if you notice, there was no setup here because by the time we got our confirmation, it already was cleared and closed clear down here, and we never enter lower than this line here. And so there was no entry for that had we put it at the more conservative place. And even still, that was a good number of 7 points here, maybe. And so that was still a good deal of distance for those energy lines. It was a good place to draw it. Um, and as you can see, it got here before we were able to get in. There was another place you could take a more aggressive entry. You could have drawn this down to here. And as you can see, by the time this gave us our confirmation, that was our breakout candle. And we could have entered here on that one and been valid. Now, I take, especially on Friday, I take the more conservative entry. Remember, Friday's rule, one good trade and go home because everybody's taken, their spring break a little early or they're going on their 3-day weekend a little early and there's especially towards the afternoon usually gets pretty choppy. So if you get one good trade anywhere near your profit targets, take it and spend the day at the beach. So I again took the more conservative entry, therefore had no entry here. Had you done this, it would not have been wrong. It just would have been, well, in fact, it wasn't wrong because look, it actually eventually got into this area. However, you would have taken a stop out, no matter if you have 1 micro and a 20-point stop or 5 micros and a 10-point stop that we have been using lately, you would have gotten stopped out either way. Now, again, it wasn't wrong because it never breached this here, but it was just too dumpy to play. Okay. It wasn't wrong because look, we went clear into this target area, but that's Friday for you. That's how things like to set up. And one of the things that we've learned with this system is that when there's not a lot of liquidity, when there's not a lot of people, it will get pushed around in ways that aren't as recognizable for us and not as easy to play. And it's just better to sit those days out. Okay, so if you played the more conservative route, then this would have been your target. You wouldn't have been able to get in, but I want to show you, you would have started looking for the up move after this because you've reached that target level. Um, and that, again, valid signal. But I want to show you, again, something that happens every once in a while, especially on days like this when they just like to beat you up and take your lunch money. So here was a low. We would have drawn that here. But as you can see, this came 2 ticks below that level. And I like to put my stop a few ticks below this level, even though if it gets down there, you're probably wrong. But they like to, especially on these choppy days, they like to come back, just run it a couple ticks past the low to get everybody's stops and then turn off. And as you can see, run the other direction, which is exactly what they did today. When this happens, I play the original energy lines, these ones. And as you can see, this one went up to 400. And you still, according to the morning method, we didn't have our second confirmation until here. So there was still no play for us, but we would have stayed out of being stopped out because, let me show you. If you'd taken that teeny tiny new low, maybe drawn your line here, maybe drawing your line there. Okay, you would have gotten stopped out because it didn't get to the target level. Actually, I just showed you what the real level was, which was the same as back there, and it made it exactly to it. But again, it went way past our entry level. We would not have been able to get in, and this would not have been a play either. But had we drawn our lines any different and tried to play that, then we would have gotten stopped out. So again, today, more conservative entries would have been better, and not getting frustrated and getting in, even though it's telling us that the move is exhausted, would have been the call for the day. And then this was not a new high, but it was the end of a 400 pattern. But again, it goes too far past, and we weren't able to get in on that one. Again, frustrating day, but better to listen to what the market is trying to tell you. This one was the only setup that actually worked, and the only one that gave us a signal that we could get in on. And that is, we would have entered here on this pullback right there, and we would have held that all the way to our target level there. Let me pull this over and show you that we actually made the target level here. And remember, we stop looking for setups at 11:30, but we do not have to exit our positions. We can stay in them and ride them all the way to the target level if we wish. Okay. So I was out of town and had to leave early. So I did not catch this move, but I did scalp that move, first move in the morning as it came up and finished that pre-market pattern. And so I had met my targets, and I took my own advice. I stopped and left for my meeting and did not try to force the market to give me anything else that it wasn't prepared to give me. So could have still made money today. I mean, this was a nice move here. This would have been 25 points. So even if you took a stop out or two, you still could have made money today if you had captured all of those. So that was great. But on Fridays, if you catch a setup, take it and run, because this is not unusual to have this kind of movement when everybody decides they're taking the day off. All right. So I'm really excited that next week we launch our webinar, It will explain the course that we're offering and will give you an opportunity to sign up for it. I hope you'll sign up early and take plenty of time to go through the course because there's a lot of details. I've worked really hard on this to give you a lot of details about the entries, the exits, the setups, how to draw the lines. I even have a bonus video about how I use this specifically with trader funding. And so all of those things are available beginning next week. Watch your Substack email and you'll be able to watch that. And then on May 5th, we will be launching our live room for our course students. And so I'm really excited about that and would love to get the opportunity to meet you, even if it is online. And let's do what we can to learn this system and see how it helps you reach your goals. So May 5th is the launch date for the live room, and next week the course will be open, and I am so looking forward to that. And so make sure you stay safe out there and good luck trading.